Tonight on CTV3 News, the disappearance of Corozal taxi driver Rosalito Pacho remains unsolved. His family is amidst a storm of unanswered questions. As Belizeans prepare for the long Easter weekend, NDAC seeks to suppress the idea of drinking and driving. And discussions get underway for the possible establishing of one of the Tren Maya stations at the Belize northern border. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, March 27th, 2024.
The innovator in you with Dell. Cellular World is an authorized partner for Dell Technologies. Whether you're looking for equipment for personal use or to transform your business, Dell Technologies can provide you with the right equipment to suit your needs. Dell is more than just desktop computers and laptops. The full line also includes monitors, data storage solutions, keyboards, docking stations, and other accessories. This is technology that makes it possible and provides solutions for every situation. Shop for your Dell products at Cellular World, your #1 Dell authorized partner in Belize, and get all the technology you want for less. Bring your brightest ideas to life with intelligent technology. Cellular World, authorized Dell partner.
The story of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise under the leadership of Honorable Jose Abelardo May is one of service to our farmers and to all productive sectors in the industry. That was not the case under the previous administration, when the rice mill in Big Falls closed production in 2015, resulting in a loss of employment for farmers and opportunities for economic growth in that district. All that changed in 2022 when the Big Falls rice mill was reopened by this administration. Thanks to the work of the ministry through the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, the mill is thriving and in 2023 purchased 1.8 million pounds of paddy from 200 farmers in the Toledo district. That is real vision and real work. But even more than that, it is about looking out for our people. The Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, moving forward with leadership that works for our farmers, for the industry, and for the nation.
For 19 years, SMART has been the pulse of our nation. A journey of growth, innovation, resilience, and unity.
From the first call that bridged distances to the data that brought us closer than ever, SMART has been there, weaving threads of connection across our beautiful land.
We have been active in providing innovative solutions to enhance our customers' lifestyles. Over the years, SMART has developed and provided various services to meet customers' needs.
To the dreamers, doers, and the believers, thank you for making SMART a part of your story. For 19 years of trust, loyalty, partnership, and shared experiences.
As we celebrate 19 years of connecting lives and dreams, let's keep the rhythm alive. Together, let's continue to shape our future one connection at a time.
Come and be a part of the SMART family, where we empower you and our country today, tomorrow, and beyond.
SMART, bringing people together.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. It has been 8 weeks since the disappearance of taximan Rosalito Pacheco. On January 31st, 2024, he left his home in the village of San Joaquin in the Corozal district to carry out his daily taxi routine around 9 a.m. and since then has not returned home. He has also not gotten in contact with his family. To date, his disappearance remains a mystery for both his family and the Belize Police Department, with the only lead so far being that of his vehicle that was found in the Boral Boom area. Pacheco's family, especially his wife, find themselves amongst a storm of unanswered questions.
Hasta ahorita no tenemos ningún informe de él personalmente, nada, solo del carro que se buscó con esas personas, que se encontró la llave en la casa de las 3 personas. Eso es hasta el momento, ese es el único informe que tenemos. Y para mi opinión, ellos tienen mucho que ver con la desaparición de mi esposo y otra persona. Según los informes, el informe que tenía es que el ya muerto Castillo, según él, es que llevó el carro, pero dejó la llave a esas 3 personas. Esa es mi información que me dijeron.
De las 3 personas que la policía detuvo, los interrogaron, ¿la policía le ha comunicado a la familia qué fue el resultado de esa interrogación?
No, nada. Absolutamente nada. Ellos dicen que no tuvieron ninguna, no consiguieron ninguna información de ellos. Solo que la señora tenía relación con el Castillo. Eso es todo que hasta ahorita sabemos.
CTV3 News understands that the officer in charge of investigating Pacheco's case has not been able to make any progress, and every day that passes, his family loses hope of finding him alive.
El que está llevando el caso, el señor Cortés, absolutamente nada. Él no tiene ninguna información, según hasta ahorita. Cada que yo lo llamo, él no tiene información. Así que yo no sé, yo me siento abandonada por la autoridad. No tenemos ninguna información hasta hoy.
¿Cuándo fue la última vez que se comunicó con el señor?
El domingo en la noche.
¿Y qué fue su última actualización?
Nada, ningún informe. Eso es todo que me dijo, no tiene ningún informe.
Pacheco will be completing 58 years of age on April 1st, 2024, and as the clock ticks, the family is running out of options.
Lo que pido al Chester William, que por favor haga todo lo posible para ver dónde se encuentra mi hijo. Porque es lo que yo quiero saber, dónde está. Ya tiene 2 meses y yo no veo que están haciendo nada. Cada que mi nuera habla, que no hay nada, dicen. Yo estoy desesperada. No puedo comer, no puedo dormir. Por medio que no sé dónde está mi hijo. Por eso le hago el llamado a Chester William, por favor, que vea a ver dónde que lo pueda encontrar, pero yo creo que, no sé si está allá en el Boom o está aquí en Corozal, pero le pido que por favor vean a ver dónde, ahí adentro, en el monte, porque cuando las policías salen, ellos solo andan en la calle nomás, ellos no se meten en el monte. Y es lo que yo le pido, que por favor que vean a ver que lo busquen, porque ya es mucho tiempo. Y yo siento que ya no puedo aguantar más, ya me cansé, ya. Eso es todo lo que quiero decir.
Miss Viola, ¿usted piensa que su hijo todavía aún sigue con vida?
Pues a veces pienso que sí, a veces pienso que no sé. Solo Dios sabe nomás, por eso cada noche, pues no cada noche, yo cada rato le pido a mi Dios que nos pueda decir dónde Él puede estar. Porque solamente Él sabe a dónde. Solo él nomás.
Pacheco's family is planning a protest to garner support from the public and attention from the higher-ups in the Belize Police Department. CTV3 News understands that said protest is planned for next week. One would still wonder, was it not just Christmas a few days ago? Well, those holidays are gone and the long Easter weekend is right upon us. It means 4 days of vacation and fun times that in many cases will involve the consumption of alcohol. Now that is the part that worries the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Through the National Drug Abuse Control Department in Corozal, the ministry today sought to suppress the idea of being behind the wheel if one is intoxicated. We caught up with personnel from NDAC Corozal and the Corozal Community Policing Unit with volunteers at the entrance of South End in Corozal Town, offering pamphlets and a reminder to motorists to be vigilant during the long Easter break. Nayeli Rancharane from the NDAC Corozal office spoke to us about the activity.
It has become a norm that some of the people from Belize City or come into our district to enjoy our bay. So what we're doing is we're giving out some flyers to make them aware of not drinking and driving, and also other safety tips on how to manage their time and have a very good time for Easter and not have to end up going to the hospital for an emergency.
Do you think it works, giving out pamphlets to these? I mean, some of them wouldn't even have the courtesy of just halting for 3 seconds for you to just give them over a pamphlet.
It's true. We have some drivers that don't stop, but we have some that do. We want to believe that we are making a changes. Well, when we get the reports, we will know. Hopefully by then, the numbers of the road traffic accidents are minimal or have come down to at least 1%. That would let us know that we are doing a difference with sharing the information with the drivers that will visit our district.
I see you're also in collaboration with the police department.
Yes, we have a representative of the community policing out here today, Sergeant Romero. We also have a volunteer that comes to us from our CRD unit in human development, and as well we have a student from Escuela Mexico. We have to be very grateful to Escuela Mexico for having the students volunteer with us. We're very grateful for that. We have many programs that have happened this year with the support of Escuela Mexico and their students. So we're very grateful that even if it's one student that would show up, because we know that some travel during the Easter. So, but we're grateful that we have young people that get engaged with us lately a lot.
NDAC is a lot about prevention education about drugs and alcohol abuse. So during this time of the year, when it's going to be the longest, I think, for the year, what message do you have for everybody, including the elders, adults, young adults, children, young people?
To try to have a safe holidays. I mean, we can enjoy ourselves without drinking, and if we are going to drink, for us to be cautious about it. It is really hot, and for every drink that they take, they need to be hydrated, no? And depending on what they would drink, it takes at least 2.5 glasses of water for them to rehydrate their system after that drink. So for us to not have any incidents, we recommend that they keep very hydrated in this hot days that are up ahead of us.
The Statistical Institute of Belize today presented the latest figures as it relates to Belize's economic status since the start of 2024. First, we take a look at the court's external trade. The SIB says that the country's imports are up, but its overall exports are down. The SIB explained that Belize's imports increased by 21.2%, or $87.4 million when compared to last year.
Starting with the total imports for the first 2 months of the year amounted to $499.8 million, up 21.2%, or $87.4 million when compared to imports of the first 2 months of 2023. With a high-value industrial generator imported at the beginning of the year, the machinery and transport equipment category went up by 66 million, from 77.8 million in 2023 to 143.8 million in 2024. Imports of mineral fuels and lubricants were up by 17.4 million, from 60.1 million to 77.4 million. This was the result of higher quantities of regular, diesel, and kerosene fuels being imported into the country, combined with the fact that while there were no premium fuels imports recorded in 2023, there were purchases of this commodity in the first 2 months of 2024.
Exports, on the other hand, saw a significant decrease, falling by 20.3% or $9.6 million when compared to last year. This was due mainly to a decrease in animal feed and sugar during the first 2 months of the year.
Total domestic exports for the first 2 months of the year amounted to $37.5 million, down 20.3%, or $9.6 million when compared to exports of the first 2 months of 2023. Animal feed revenue plummeted from $10.1 million to $2.8 million, as exported quantities fell by more than 2/3 during the period. Likewise, sugar exports saw a notable decrease of $6.8 million, dropping from $10.7 million to $3.8 million, with earnings down by 64%. Reduced exports of lobster products and shrimps during the period led to a $3.8 million decline in revenues from marine products, dropping from $7.1 million to $3.2 million. Diminished volumes of orange concentrate also contributed to a downturn in exported citrus, declining from $4 million to $1.7 million.
Across the major destinations, exports to Central America, the European Union fell, while exports to the United Kingdom and the United States saw significant increases during the first 2 months of the year.
In looking at our exports markets, we observed that due to decreased exports of animal feed, earnings from Central America fell from $11.5 million to $3.8 million. Purchases from sugar by the European Union recorded a decline for the period, experiencing a drop of $3.1 million from $8.4 million to $5.3 million. Earnings from the United Kingdom went up by from $7 million to $9.1 million, mainly due to heightened exports of banana. Earnings from the United States of America grew from $5.5 million to $6.6 million, due largely to increased exports of pepper sauce.
Today's presentations also looked at the gross domestic product for the country of Belize for the last quarter of 2023, as well as the combined GDP of all 4 quarters of last year. Based on the sum of the 4 quarters of the year, goods and services produced for 2023 were valued at an estimated $5.27 billion, an increase of $234.3 billion or 4.7% from the previous year. Primary drivers of growth were the tertiary sector industries. In terms of each sector, the primary sector was down by 6.3%, while the secondary sector saw a decrease of 1.6%, and the tertiary sector saw growth of 9.6%.
So based on the sum of the 4 quarters of the year, we see that goods and services for 2023 were valued at an estimated $5.27 billion. This is an increase of $234.3 million or 4.7%. The primary drivers for growth were in the tertiary sector, as primary sector was down by 6.3%, secondary sector was down by 1.6%, and then the tertiary sector was up by 9.6%. So this is just a snapshot of what we expect to be the annual when we publish that later in the year. All right, moving on into the fourth quarter, October to December of 2023, we see that goods and services produced totaled $1.35 billion. This is an increase of $41.44 million, or 3.2%, when we compare it to that same time period for 2022. Again, the primary drivers for economic growth were in the tertiary sector. As we saw, the primary sector decreased by 3.1%, the secondary sector decreased by 5.3%, and the tertiary sector up by 8.8%. So in quarter 4 of 2022, we had $163.4 million. We are now at $158.4 million. This is a decrease of $5 million, or 3.1%. Now I must make note that for 2023, most of the year we had drought-like conditions, mainly the northern and western parts of the country, which impacted agriculture, and in turn that will impact the secondary sector. So within the primary sector, we see agriculture, forestry, and fishing went down by 0.8%, and mining went down by 28.3%. In quarter 4 of 2022, the secondary sector totaled $166 million. We're now looking at $157.3 million for quarter 4 of 2023. This is a decrease of $8.8 million, or 5.3%. Looking at the industries within the sector, manufacturing went down by 2.8%, construction by 8.3%, and electricity by 7.4%, with the only increase for water at 5.5%.
The tertiary sector was the only sector which saw growth in the fourth quarter of 2023, mainly due to an increase in tourism.
Looking at the overnight and cruise ship arrivals, we went from 82.5 thousand people for overnight in quarter 4 of 2022 to 110.7 for overnight in quarter 4 of 2023. That is an increase of 34%. And then looking at cruise, 203.3 to 232.6, that is an increase of 14.4%. All right, so for both measures, we are steadily approaching back to before the COVID pandemic. If you look at it, it is 110 to 120, 232 to 282. All right, so we're steadily going back with the tourism movement.
Canadian national Jasmine Hartin today appeared virtually in the Belize City lower court, where she is facing charges of drug possession and common assault, which were levied upon her in San Pedro. Hartin and her attorney Arthur Saldivar hope to conclude these two legal matters today. However, they were adjourned to a later date. Her attorney spoke to the media following the court proceedings and explained more about the charges and the happenings in the court today.
That in Belize, this has been novel. We have not really had at the Supreme Court level any orders prior to hers where community service was required. So, and you know, in Belize we normally get things a little bit discombobulated, and that is certainly the case here, that an order was made but nothing was put in place to have the order be effected. So Ms. Hartin has been left to be writing the authorities almost on a monthly basis, asking how she can get this done, and because she wants to get this behind her. The fines have been paid. She was asked to produce a PSA, a public service announcement in terms of gun safety and what have you. That has been done. But nothing has been given to her to allow for her to complete the community service. In fact, I will go as far as to say that this was supposed to have been done at the YMCA. And the director of the YMCA basically said point blank, she don't know how she will accommodate Miss Harton. She doesn't want Miss Harton there and what have you. So the court is looking to foist on an institution someone they do not want. So I am hoping that that wisdom will prevail and that community service would be taken away and waived, because I don't see how
somewhere else.
Like where? Like where?
In court today, Harton's attorney also sought the court's judgment on the matter of manslaughter by negligence in relation to the death of police officer Henry Jamont, for which his client pled guilty. In that matter, Harton was allotted community service, which her attorney says is nonsensical and not usually followed in Belize.
Well, I was hoping that we would have been able to dispose of the common assault matter, as from what I was able to ascertain from the evidence that was brought before the court, that it was a bogus charge, incapable of being sustained on the facts. But today we were unable to get that done because of an issue affecting the prosecutor in the matter. No prosecutor appeared.
That's the head of prosecution who was supposed to be here.
Well, yes, but again, I understand that she may be ill, so that illness is for everyone, so I don't hold that against her.
Has your client already received disclosure on the common assault matter and the position?
Yes. Not only have disclosure been received, but there were already evidence given in the assault matter. The virtual complainant has already testified, and her testimony does not bear any semblance of the elements required to sustain that charge.
Okay, and we're told that your client appeared virtually?
Yes, it was agreed with the court and the prosecution that she would appear virtually today, and that has been extended given the circumstances. Ms. Harden has always appeared. She has not breached any condition of her bail.
So she's in country?
She doesn't have to be. The court has given her permission to not be. Ms. Harden, as you may be aware, is fighting for the custody of her kids, as any mother in her position would. And as a result of that, she was required to be outside of the country.
Coming up next, Belize delegation meets with Tren Maya officials in Mexico.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Just a few years ago, agriculture in Belize was a dying industry. Dying because of a drought in government assistance and a lack of vision which left farmers struggling to survive and feed their families. Today, all that has changed with new leadership in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise. For the first time in the nation's history, Belize has been recognized as a regional giant for its work towards self-sufficiency, being able to feed our people on what we grow here. As a result of the ministry's thrust towards diversification, crops such as avocado, pitaya, soursop, cucumber, tomatoes, potatoes, rice, corn, and many others have all shown significant spikes in production. The best part of this is that it is our small farmers who have contributed to this push for diversification with the ministry's guidance, and it is the small farmers who are benefiting. the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, moving forward with leadership that works for our farmers, for the industry, and for the nation. Real leadership is about creating opportunities for our farmers, traditional and non-traditional. And with the Honorable Jose Abelardo May at the helm, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise has made unprecedented strides. Through the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, beekeepers have been provided with information, training, and assistance to build a thriving new subsector in Belize. The BMDC also purchases and markets the honey. Currently, the BMDC is also assisting farmers from 3 districts by purchasing mango, dragon fruit, passion fruit, and soursop pulp. Belizeans can enjoy these fruits all year round, and the tourism industry has a year-round supply of delicious, wholesome Belizean fruit. This is innovation at its best. That is real vision and real work. But even more than that, it is about looking out for our people. The Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, moving forward with leadership that works for our farmers, for the industry, and for the nation.
A delegation including His Excellency Jaime Briceño and His Excellency Haisem Diab, Ambassadors of Investment, and His Excellency Oscar Arnold, Belize's Ambassador to Mexico, met with representatives of Mexico's Tren Maya Railway project. The meeting was held at the Teya Tren Maya station in Merida, Yucatan, Mexico on March 25th. The delegation met with Carlos Imanol Bolestudito, Mexico's Director General for Central America and Caribbean, and officials from Mexico's Secretary of National Defense, including Brigadier General Germán Redondo Suarez, Head of Corporate and Commercial Strategy Development for Tren Maya, and Lieutenant Colonel Jair Garcia Pineda, Director of Social Communication of Tren Maya. Discussion centered around the possibility of establishing one of the stations at Belize's northern border with Mexico, thereby providing passenger and freight service for Belize to all of southern Mexico. This will also provide access to the Interoceanic Railway in Mexico, a key route that links important port cities on both its Pacific and Atlantic coast. The government of Mexico tasked its military with the construction and administration of the Tren Maya routes. This also ensures that the pricing remains competitive and that security is provided for the project. To date, the Army Corps of Engineers has been performing well and meeting key objectives and targets for completion, with 5 of 7 routes completed. The route linking Chetumal and Cancun is scheduled for completion between June and July 2024. This will open access to an additional estimated 4 million travelers yearly, as well as provide an alternative route for Belizean products to penetrate Mexican markets. Inaugurated in December 2023, Tren Maya is the largest project of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. The 966.27 miles of new railway will link 5 states, Campeche, Chiapas, Tabasco, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo, in Mexico's southeastern region, linking its main cities to tourist hotspots and archaeological sites. The locomotives will use both diesel and electricity and represent the latest in railway technology. Good Deeds Day is coming up on April 14, 2024. Good Deeds Day, or El Día de las Buenas Acciones, began in Israel in 2007. It quickly spread around the globe, and Central American countries quickly signed up for the initiative. And this year, for the first time, Belize will be participating in this global movement of doing good along with 115 other countries across the world. The Office of the Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children, in collaboration with Ishel Caribe Foundation, are the key partners in bringing this movement to Belize. Today, the Special Envoy, Her Excellency Rosana Briceño, was a guest on our Despierta Belize morning show, and she told us why Belize signed on to the movement, which is already impacting many lives.
Okay, basically this started because we have a lot of NGOs in the U.S. They're all Belizeans, Belizean women, families that have always been supporting Belize. You know, we have this little joke among ourselves. The barrel don't come. We're waiting for the barrel. We're waiting for the box from the U.S.
Right.
Well, these are the same Belizeans that came together and decided, you know what, Belize has so much negativity going on right now, all the murders, the deaths, the crime, which has escalated to a point right now that you need something positive. You need something positive to remove some of that stigma and that the pain that's happening, because it's not something that goes on all year round. It's spontaneous, and because we're such a small country, we hear about it on a daily basis because we know each other. If we were in a larger country, many of these things would probably just be thrown under the bus, but in Belize, we're here, we know each other, we hear about these things. So the Belizeans in the U.S. decided to get together, and through the Ishel Caribe Foundation, which is an NGO, the executive officer is Ms. Charlotte Nall. She's from Naples, in Florida. She has a group of Belizean women, and I would say that an extension to their families, that decided to sign up Belize. Because we have about 115 countries that have signed up to be a part of this initiative. So they met with me and asked, would you like to partner with us? A collaboration. Through your office, then we can register Belize as a country that will support Good Deeds Day. And my responsibility now is to get other NGOs, other church groups, youth groups. There's the Optimist Club. We have reached out to them. Hopefully we can get them on board to just run with this program for a day. It's a one-day program similar to our service day that's local. And compared to this one, it's an international one. So we have, I said yes on to collaborate through my office. Now I'm waiting for the other NGOs, the other groups to come on board.
And that is how Belize is now registered to partake in the global initiative to change the world, if only for a day. But for Briceño, good deeds can be practiced on a daily basis, thus changing the circle of life.
Let's say they decide to jump on board with this. They can create their own T-shirt as long as it has the Good Deeds Day. They can put their logo on the back or on the sleeves, and we will share our logo with them so that to show that it's a collaborative initiative. And it doesn't have to be only my logo. Let's say Optimist Club decides to partner with another NGO. Then they all put their, like for example, they can put their other logos to share that it's a collaboration, because that's what we're looking at. Collaboration. It's not just one group doing something good. It's like you rightly said, you can do something good without anybody knowing. You can do something in your school, in your church, in your neighborhood, at home, you know. It's just that we be a part of this and embrace this as Good Deeds Day. Yes, good deeds can be done all year round. But it's just the awareness that we're asking for. On April 14th, it's a Sunday, so it's so much easier on a Sunday too, because nobody's working. You can do something at church, for example. Those people that go to church every Sunday, do something nice, share, give something nice. Can be something as simple as telling you, Kami, you look lovely today.
Right.
Kami, have a beautiful day today. A compliment, a greeting. That's it. It's nothing that you have to go out of your way.
Extravagant.
No.
You can share a plate of food.
Right.
You can decide to help someone do laundry.
Yes.
Just about anything that will assist an individual. And it's really interesting, Mrs. Briseno, to see here that since 2007, when this initiative began, it has been incrementing. First, it started off with 7,000 volunteers and with 130 projects, and it's been increasing, right, to date. If we go through the years.
Yes, it has. And like I mentioned earlier, Belize is the 111th country that has signed on to this global initiative. There's 115 countries right now that are globally registered. So the expectation is that sometime in September, all the collaborators, the heads of, the ones that are leading the charge, will be having a conference in St. Lucia this year to bring all the Caribbean partners together. It's a huge initiative. And basically to share best practices, to foster more collaboration within the CARICOM countries, and of course to foster volunteerism across the Caribbean. It's not just in Belize, but across the Caribbean, because we link ourselves to the CARICOM countries for this initiative.
All right.
So remember, it does not matter what is your good deed as long as it brings about positive change in your community. Taking a look at more numbers presented today by the Statistical Institute of Belize, the Consumer Price Index for the months of January and February 2024 saw a cumulative inflation rate when compared to the same period last year, which stood at 4.1%. All major categories saw an increase during this period, except for transport, which experienced a slight decrease of 1.8%.
The cumulative inflation rate for the first 2 months in the year of 2024 compared to the same period in the year of 2023 stood at 4.1%. This means that overall, the average cost of regular purchase goods and services increased by 4.1% for the period. Let's first look at the National Consumer Price Index, which summarizes all categories of goods and services for the past 5 years, with our main emphasis being the first 2 months of the year of 2024. We can see how prices overall increased from January to February. Looking at the same period in the year of 2023, we also see the same trend that happened in the year of 2004, where prices increased in almost all categories of goods and services. Now, looking at the all-item index, we can see that prices in the year of 2024 are higher than what the prices were in the year of 2023. And this is why when we compare both periods, a cumulative inflation rate of 4.1% was recorded for the period. So now looking at the major categories affecting the cumulative inflation rate of 4.1%, first, we have the food and non-alcoholic beverages category with prices increasing by 7.5%. And I must mention that this was the main contributor to the overall increase. It was followed by the restaurant and accommodational services with prices increasing by 12.6%. Then we had the housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuel with prices increasing by 2.1%. Now looking at the last category in our list, we have the transport category, which recorded a decrease of 1.8%.
Across all municipalities, Belmopan experienced the highest rate of inflation of 9.7%, while Dangraga saw the lowest inflation rate of 2.2%. Orange Walk saw an inflation rate of 3.8% during the period, while Corozal saw an inflation rate of 5.8%.
Right, so now looking at the cumulative inflation rate by municipality, it can clearly be seen that the city of Belmopan experienced the highest increase in consumer prices, with a cumulative inflation rate of 9.7%. Consumer in the city saw above average increase in prices for food items, home rental costs, restaurant services, personal hygiene products, men's and women's hairdressing, laundry products, soap, detergent, pet food, medicine over the counter, clothing, and footwear. Now, on the other hand, the Angrega town experienced the lowest cumulative inflation rate with a 2.2%, as consumers in this town saw lower than average increase in prices for food items, restaurant services, laundry products, soaps, detergent, medicine, and personal hygiene products. Now that we have seen the cumulative inflation rate at the national level, let's take a look at the cumulative inflation rate at the regional level. This will tell us how prices are increasing or decreasing within our close neighbors. First, let's look at Jamaica, with prices increasing by 6.8%, followed by Nicaragua, with prices increasing by 5.4%. Then we have Honduras, with prices increasing by 4.7%.
The price of liquid petroleum gas will see a decrease of 30 cents effective tomorrow, Thursday, March 28. The change reflects wholesale volume and retail sale by volume in both urban and rural areas. This means that the wholesale price for LPG will be sold at $3.85. In urban areas, the retail price will be $1.25 per pound or $5.45 per gallon. Prices in the rural areas will decrease to $1.27 per pound or $5.55 per gallon. According to the Supplies Control Unit, SCU, in the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, the decrease of 30 cents per gallon is a result of a reduction in the acquisition price of both butane and propane. Demonstrating Belize's firm commitment to the maritime industry and to implementing and maintaining international maritime standards, Cabinet approved the National Maritime Strategy for the International Maritime Organization Instrument Implementation Code as recommended by the Maritime Technical Committee. Cabinet also approved the National Gender Policy 2024-2030 as Women's Month concludes. The policy aligns closely with Plan Belize and covers the important areas of education, health, employment, income generation, gender-based violence, and decision-making. After being apprised of a request for members of the Kosovo Security Force to conduct training along with the British Army Training Support Unit, BATSUB, Cabinet gave its approval and requested that the Ministry of Defense and Border Security develop a status of forces agreement. Also, with Cabinet's approval, the National Sports Council, NSC, will now develop mechanisms to encourage sustainable financial support to uplift sports, aid athletes, and maintain facilities that are being administered by the NSC, and set up a Cabinet subcommittee to explore further development of sports in Belize. The approval was also given for a public-private partnership for the management and operation of 3 electric coach buses in Belize. This is part of a pilot project to conduct a feasibility study on electric mobility. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, March 28th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.